we're live, and I think it just started with Charles is coughing. Yep, it did.
Sorry.
All right. Welcome to Irongeek Cast number 140. It's 65 degrees outside. We're all going to freeze to death. All right. Sorry for the late start, everyone. Adrian was having a lot of connectivity issues, and he's still having these connectivity issues. So we are running solo-ish. No, Adrian, he is in chat. So if you do have questions, feel free to hit him up.
But not literally.
Yeah, don't actually hit him.
Yeah,
unless
like
you're
with
at
a bat.
whatever con he's at.
Yeah.
What, you mean like, there it is. This bat? We can do this bat.
Yeah, see, that is a cool bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Profile pic on Twitter right now.
It is.
Rip DerbyCon. I knew I was going to like spend way too much money at DerbyCon.
Charles, you're not crying, are you?
No.
No.
Cappy mentions Derby and Charles starts shedding tears.
I just saw all the pieces.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry. That's still my favorite con, whether it exists or not. Boom. Bar none. Anyway.
Adrian just said in YouTube chat, I can add snide comments.
Oh.
Is there a difference from that to normal? No, I'm kidding, man.
Yeah. Well, happy Thankful Thursday, everyone, from the BSD Bandit. Yeah. I had a wonderful day today, and I'm just happy to be here. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
There you go.
All right. Since we started the round table. Let's keep going. Darren, how you doing?
How you doing?
Just busy as shit with work, so it's a lot of it right there. That's the fun parts of it.
Usually shit is whenever I'm taking kind of a break.
Well,
I mean, but that's me personally.
We know what happens when Israel gets quiet.
Yeah. Or whenever my video goes off on here. You know what I'm doing.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Never mind.
All right. Israel, how are you doing since you're real chatty?
Doing pretty well. It's been busy at work. It's getting to be last quarter. So last quarter is when companies like to spend money. So that means that I am running nonstop with things right now. So very, very busy at work. Still got a baby getting ready to pop here in the next month or so.
Yay! Going
to Wild West Hacking Fest next week. So anybody listening, if you're going to be at Wild West, hit me up. I'll be at the binary booth probably most of the time, but we'll try to slip away from the booth from time to time. So
nice.
Yeah, and I won't be on the cast next week, so don't expect me.
Okay. We'll put something into place.
There you go.
I'll probably take over or something.
Yeah, like a video of a cat would probably,
it would suffice.
Yeah, that would probably take my place. Or some cute kittens fighting. Yeah.
Okay.
I see those being.
We have the technology.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Or just deep fake me.
Oh, what?
Or just deep fake me.
Never mind.
Like.
I thought you said something else.
Whatever you are thinking, that is not what I said.
No, I just said, huh? Never mind. Nothing.
Absolutely not what I said.
Welcome to the part of the stream where we have become demonetized.
Yeah. Forgive me.
We've only been streaming for what, like 5 minutes?
Yeah, probably not even that yet. Okay, Jack.
Oh god.
I'm good. Just been working issues and reading about that CISA advisory about bind, which came into play earlier today.
Holy crap! Jack said more than I'm good. What is? We're on air, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just a little shocked right now.
Mark it down, episode 140, dude.
I know.
That goes off.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. It's probably
Just gonna
because
rename the stream.
were.
Jack goes off.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably because we got to talk for like 30 minutes beforehand. So. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Except
we
for
got 'em all
Adrian,
revved
obviously.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. I like it.
All right. Quickly, I will go say
Okay.
I'm doing well. Everything's going fine. And you guys probably are going to ask about stuff later on in the show notes on how yesterday went. But yeah, let's start with any announcements that we had. Israel's going to be at Wild West Hacking Fest. Next week, I'm actually going to be at KU doing a talk there for the information security group there. So I will be there, but I won't miss the podcast, but I will be doing that next week. So if you're in KU, come by.
Charles is over here breathing heavily into the mic.
If we want to play that game,
Look at me.
we want to play this game. Give me a second. Although this is like, I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I have like a ski mask thing that I brought to Derby. I bought for DerbyCon and brought to DerbyCon.
Yeah,
All
Charles. Right. So I got to ask, did you custom make that?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it's pretty cool if you did.
That
Oh,
was
Cab,
cool,
he's
yeah.
so mean.
No, I didn't make mine either. Mine was just like this pullover, like ski mask thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Charles actually got that for the purge. Just the area he's living in. He figured it's going to happen here within the next few months. So
yeah.
By the way, this is definitely the season for USA Networks because just this week they started the Purge season 2.
Oh, they did.
Oh
yeah.
Shit! Yeah, they did.
I didn't know that.
How was the?
right.
I never watched the first season. So how was the first season?
Really?
First season was pretty good.
Really?
First season was good.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, was it like the same guys
check it out
as like the movies? I mean, because I did like the movies.
I think it was. Was it the same producers? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's the same producers, but
they kept
they're
it
just,
like
they're just
that.
They're just expanding the world out. They're just expanding the world out. So rather than you're dealing with 2 hours of a movie, it's over the course of 10 hours.
Oh, okay. Cool. So are they doing it almost like a minute by minute type of thing then?
Not this season. This season's gonna be different.
Okay. That's cool though. I'll have to check that out.
Speaking of USA shows, anyone started watching the Mr. Robot final season?
I have. I have. It's definitely pretty good. It was a lot more than I expected from the beginning, but I mean, it's very good. So far, so good. 2 episodes in. The third one is this Sunday.
Yep.
Nice.
Have you watched it yet?
Yeah. Okay, without spoiling anything, Charles, I screamed in episode 1.
Me too.
I was like, oh!
Why did y'all scream? I knew it was coming.
No, I didn't expect that.
I didn't expect that.
Really?
No.
Yeah, really, I didn't expect that.
Really, you just don't redact it, and not expect redacted to happen.
Well, I mean, but redacted
redact that and redact it.
Redacted is a super important character.
Yes.
And also has a lot of power, so then it wouldn't make sense and is very close
Exactly.
with redacted.
Yes.
You guys suck.
Redacted. Welcome to the Redacted Pod.
Oh man.
Daiquiri.
Okay. Okay. I didn't mean to derail. Let's get it.
Let's get to the.
Man, just due to that, I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about now. Y'all suck.
Yeah, we're talking about Angela. Sorry.
Character.
No,
dude. Oh.
We're talking about Angela. Yeah.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
You guys suck. Shut up.
All right. Charles, bring us into the breach report.
It's now time for the breach report. Breach report. Woo! Let's do this.
All right, Israel, take it away.
Yeah, so apparently, sounds like we're gonna start doing the breach report. So first up, we have ransomware hits Pitney Bowes. Is everybody here familiar? I'm assuming with Pitney Bowes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Packaging retailer.
Yeah, shut up. Like every mailroom machine in the entire world, I'm pretty sure is Pitney Bowes, as well as they do the office printers for just a stupid amount of companies globally. But yeah, they were hit with ransomware and left their customers unable to top up the credit on their stamping devices. So the way they work is you buy a certain amount of credit for the postage charges, and it just continues down, and then you re-up it. So the customers who were getting to the point where they were getting limited on postage, who needed to increase that postage back up to retain services or keep shipping, they couldn't do that. As of the time this came out, they had not named the ransomware family or specific ransomware strain that infected the systems. And as of Tuesday evening, they were claiming that they were making progress at recovering systems impacted by the malware, although they did not offer a time scale that it would be fully restored. So, it's been, and they are not small by any means. They are definitely a larger scale company. Anybody got anything on that before we move on?
I was just trying to see if they mentioned anything on Twitter, or if someone else mentioned anything on Twitter that that put anything in perspective on what the strain was. And all I'm seeing is just a bunch of angry people that actually went to Twitter.
Yes, just a lot of Bitcoin addresses.
Maybe. All right.
Okay.
Number 2.
Yeah. Next up, this is just, I threw it on here because, since October 1st, this article kind of overviewed 15 different ransomware victims. So just a real quick hit on these. And these are ransomware since October 1st. A lot of them have been healthcare and stuff like that. But to actually break it down, Wood Ranch Medical, CHI Health Lakeside, Berry Family Services, DCH Health, Cerrell Dental and Eye Centers, City of Cornelia, Career Source Tampa Bay, Career Source Pinellas, kind of thinking Career Source, may have had their networks attached there. North Carolina State Bar, Platte County School District, Athol Police Department, Charlton Town, WOW Radio, Ridgeway Area School District, Cherry Hill School District. It's kind of across the board. We got healthcare, local government, some others, education, law enforcement, media. Yeah, so got quite a few. Again, guys and gals, make sure you have good backups. get your stuff in there that can hopefully help and assist in preventing, but you're not going to prevent everything. So make sure you have your good backups. Make sure you have detections available. So even if you can't prevent the initial infection, you can help to stop the spread of it. So next up and last on the breach report, we have Brian's Club.
Oh, I saw something about this today.
Yeah, so my son's always really happy after he after his mommy forcefully removes him from the bathtub. Really happy.
My daughter's the same way.
Oh yeah, he'll cry for like 10 minutes. That boy, if he could be in the bathtub for like 10 hours straight, he'd be perfectly fine, and then still cry after he gets out. So Brian's Club is a dark web-sided forum for purchasing stolen things. We'll put
Credit cards
nicely.
specifically.
Yes, they do have credit cards, but I think they have other items too. I don't think it's only credit cards. At least it didn't used to be.
Bazaar named after this author, imitating my site likeness namesake, Brian's Club, even dubiously claims copyright, blah blah blah. Crabs on security.
Did you say crabs?
Yeah. So like the copyright statement. So the copyright statement on the website is copyright 2019 Crabs on Security.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to see. So the only thing that was stolen from it was credit cards. But it is a bazaar. So that would, like Israel was saying, it would have more than just credit cards there.
Yeah. But with this, though, it ended up the way that it was titled, Brian's Club Hack Rescues 26 million stolen cards. So, I mean, it's not necessarily rescued, but there were 26 million credit card numbers and information on the site up for sale. Oh, actually, yeah, it has a breakdown. So debit cards with no PIN are $20 to $30. With the PIN, $110 to $220. Credit no zip, 10 to 25. I mean, quite a bit of different things on here.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked because the cost of these damn things have gone up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because used to, I mean, a debit card with no zip, you were looking at maybe what?
$5.
$5. Yeah. With a PIN, you were looking at maybe
15,
45 to 50. Well, I mean, yeah, potentially you could find somewhere where if somebody was really hard up for money and just wanted to offload it, yeah. But yeah. But this was kind of fun or interesting. Stolen back fair and square. So all this data was already stolen, and somebody else just popped them and stole the data back. But all that information was already cached out there. So all those cards are going to have to get shut down anyway. Once all the banks are contacted, notified.
Well, I mean, for the most part, they probably they've already been, reissued.
Maybe.
So
I mean, within the next like 2 weeks, they will be.
Yeah.
No. I mean, if they were on that site and nobody's bought them, then odds are don't tell them what breach it came from, but or what skimmer crew. But I mean, once the skimmers were for the most part discovered, they know to go back a certain ways and say, hey, look, if you use this pump, or you possibly were a part of this credit card skimmer, so
yeah,
contact your bank and have them reissued. So I mean, they might have contacted the people already.
Yeah, if it was found out. But that's the thing, like with a credit card skimmer, if the skimmer wasn't found and it's just a drop that the attacker kept going back to and was never caught, those aren't going to be reported back to the credit card companies or anything, or the individuals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, 26 billion. That's a huge number. I mean,
Yeah,
like I said, a lot of those have probably already been a part of breaches already. So.
Yes. Well,
probably.
I mean, maybe. Because you got to remember, customer service on the dark web is the best customer service you will ever find.
That's true. It's situated.
Yeah, because it's rare that you're going to purchase something that does not work, that is not, whatever.
They want you to keep you coming back.
Yeah, as well as, because there's reviews just like there are on Amazon and everywhere else. And if you start leaving negative reviews, guess who doesn't make money? The attacker, the guy selling the data.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's a fair exchange.
Yeah. Well, kind of, but yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just they're making sure they're doing business, just not the traditional way, meaning legitimate way.
Yeah, and people have been doing illegitimate business,
forever.
Yeah, pretty much ever.
Mm-hmm.
You have something I want, I'm going to take it, and then I no longer want it, I'm going to sell it to somebody else. So, Yep. Okay. Caprica, what's up next?
So we've got the vulnerability of the week, and it is titled "Run as root when you're not root." Woohoo! Or sorry. So this dropped earlier this week, and I have a little Easter egg there in the show notes for a little XKCD snippet there, or comic strip there for some fun. Okay, so pseudoflaw lets Linux users run commands as root even when they're restricted. So this came out early this week. I think Tuesday is when this came out. So the vulnerability in question is a pseudo security policy bypass that could allow a malicious user or a program to execute arbitrary commands as root on a target Linux system, even when the suitor's configuration explicitly disallows the root access. So if you're not familiar with Linux and the sudo command, essentially it's the admin command. So it is super user do is what it stands for. And it runs anything with full permissions as if you were the root or admin on a Linux system. So in the suitor's file, you set who actually has admin ability on the server. So a custom string of having the suitor as sudo either user ID is -1 as the ID, or the user is ID 4294967295. You then are able to run it as root on some Linux kernels at this point, within the sudo command. So the vulnerability affects all sudo versions prior to the latest release version 1.8.28, which has been released today, and this is as of October 14th, a few hours ago from when this was written. And should be having that rolled out to various Linux distributions to their users. So simple apt-get update and upgrade will get you to the patch and or APK yum or whatever your distro is. Is it just me, or is this an integer overflow attack?
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Because it's the -1. So what the function does that was exploited, the user ID into the username incorrectly treats -1 or its unsigned equivalent of that 4294 number as 0. So 0 in this case would be true. So it sets a variable to true, and then all the other checks check out, and then you run as sudo. So an unsigned integer or equivalent is the value in which the bit string. So you have 8 characters. I think in this case it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have 10, or you have a 16 or 64-bit string that you have your values in that are running in memory, and that's what runs through code. That's where data is stored and stuff like that. When you flip to unsigned integers or signed integers, an unsigned integer in this case for -1 would be this. So the next one down of 9, if this was 9.4, that would be whatever that number is, 4. So when it flips, it actually is saying that this is -1 to your system. So when this gets converted, it poorly converts it and parses it to as 0, which in this case sets a Boolean of true to the program, which then says, hey, I'm able to run this command and stuff like that. A little bit of a technical side. Just know that it turns a -1 into a 0 instead of what it should do as seeing it as -1 and not doing anything with it and saying, hey, you're not in the sudoers file, or this ID doesn't exist, which they have subsequently patched. So very in-depth, like basics of computing there, but and binary and all that fun stuff, but and bitwise arithmetic, but yeah, big deal. Could have been worse, but they put out a patch for it pretty much immediately. So once it was disclosed. However, now I'm wondering how many people actually got away with using this on engagements or in attacks.
Probably not many, because it requires you already have an account to be authenticated and to be in the sudoers file. So, yeah.
Well,
or who was lucky enough to have been taking their OSCP on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Whoa, boy. Whoa, man. If you were able to pull this off during your OSCP, please comment down below. And are also subsequently watching this. Because that would be hilarious if someone actually said, oh yeah, I did that.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
I did that on all redacted boxes.
All redacted. They're going to throw in a box name redacted now just for you, Jack.
Nah.
Okay. One last thing. Additionally, because the user ID specified via the TACU option does not exist in the password database, no PAM session modules will be run. Ooh. Okay.
Which means it won't do any kind of PAM checking. That's kind of special.
Yeah. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So that is vulnerability of the week. That was the largest and most critical of the vulnerabilities that I saw this week. And Israel also pointed this out to me. So when Israel tells me about a vulnerability, I know it's bad, because that means he's actively talking about it with people. If I see it, it's some like weird vulnerability and I just think it's a cool vulnerability. But yeah. All right.
Yeah, this is like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and also
though I don't think it was remotely accessible.
No, that is on local boxes only.
Yeah, so that would have taken it down to like an 8.
Yeah.
You already have to have an authenticated account on the box, so that the attack vector is pretty fucking small.
Yeah. It was.
I mean, what you can do with it is crazy, but actually getting to the point to be able to pull it off, that's the difficult part.
Because it's local user, it requires authentication, so it ain't gonna work. Yeah, like for example, if you had actually you have to enter your password, you don't squash your password, then you have to know the user's password. Where if you don't have it, if the user doesn't have a password or you don't know it, well, you can't do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun stuff.
Okay. So you guys know that we've been talking about iPhone jailbreaks. It feels like it's 2008 all over again.
Wait, what's an iPhone?
Yeah, right? What's an iPhone?
Yeah.
I have an Android.
Me
I used to actually have an iPhone sitting right here on my desk. I totally forgot I had this still. The case is like falling apart, but the phone's not. All right, cool. So this really isn't a vulnerability, but it was something interesting that I thought of because it brought me back to when I was a kid and
last week.
looking at all the different like jailbreaking attacks that were coming out then, and that was like when the first jailbreaks were happening and all this other stuff. There were so many different people talking about this. That it just hit that nostalgia for me. So iPhone jailbreakers lured to click fraud sites. So a cyber gang has created a malicious website that dangles the reward of being able to jailbreak an iPhone, but instead injects the device with click fraud malware. The threat actors use the legitimate checkmate vulnerability, which does allow some legacy iOS devices to be jailbroken as the basis for their program. Reported Cisco Talos researchers Warren Mercer and Paul, I'm not going to attempt that, Paul R. Essentially, the group set up a website called checkrain.com and purposely put click fraud malware onto different devices for people that were there. So if you are looking to jailbreak your iPhone for whatever reason, I don't care if you do or not, do it through, at least do your research. Don't just say like, hey, don't be everyone else and just Google how to jailbreak iPhone. Like, do your research, find what it is. Don't click on the first thing that you see, because this is how you're going to get hacked. However, it will still work. So, I mean, play your options.
That's right.
Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting thing to see again. It reminded me also of Equifax when people are putting up the phishing sites of people saying like if you've been affected by this breach, so that you could go and like check your status of your accounts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Equifax actually retweeted the wrong link to someone else's phishing site.
Speaking of, I don't know if you remember, they actually tried to screw people out of their money for that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Yeah.
they tried.
They
no,
tried.
they did.
They tried.
Well, okay,
No,
well,
they
they
did.
tried at least, but yes, but the second date for that responding that was actually 2 days ago, was the 15th. So.
All right. So, anyone else got anything on iPhone jailbreakers luring people to their doom? I mean, to get malware.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, what year is this? Like, even people who,
I think show notes.
I
said, what is it, 2008?
Yeah, I mean, because even people who do still jailbreak are, it's nowhere near as much as who used to jailbreak phones. Like, I used to jailbreak phones. There are more than enough apps out there. I don't give a crap. I just use a freaking app. And I don't use it for other purposes anymore. So, yeah.
Well, the other thing too, and this is something for, and I don't suspect that any mobile pen tester or researcher is going to go and just do something as I expect them not to do something as dumb as this. But there's a market for, or there's a distinct need to have a at least rooted Android phone or a rooted. If we can get a rooted iPhone, that would be great, because then we're able to do a lot more and see a lot more while we're doing pen tests of different iOS applications or Android applications.
Yeah,
So
but with that, why wouldn't you just use the emulators? You know, where you're emulating an iPhone, you can still do the same thing, can't you?
Because
sometimes having it on raw hardware is better.
It does some. It can.
I could
You
see
can
that.
have some other. So here's the other thing too. You can put in controls, and we actually saw this in a couple of applications that we were working on, or at least the guys that are doing mobile testing at that work with me. They have the issue where they'll do static code analysis, and they'll actually see people and companies put in, "Is this in an emulator?" Statements, and then they'll drop a bunch of stuff. So if you actually have the actual phone, and or if it's a rooted or jailbroken phone, you get a lot more of that actual execution of what's actually happening on a phone as if it's a normal user, but you also have a little more control on the device to see different procs, stack traces, and whatever like that.
Yeah, so they're using, is this an emulator similar to just more conventional malware, looking to see if it's in a sandbox?
Right, yeah. And you want to have that in some cases, which is so that someone can't just bring down your stuff into an emulator and find all these weird like dev cookies or keys or whatever. By the way, we still find those.
Yeah, they're all stored in memory at some point.
Yeah, so get good. Yeah. So that's all I have on the iPhone jailbreakers. Oh boy. So
there we go.
So this came across my radar
okay.
yesterday.
Well, I guess I'll go on mute for about 20 minutes. Cappy's getting ready to go on a rant.
No. I'm not gonna rant. I'm not gonna rant. I am promising now that I am not going to rant.
Okay.
I am taking this from a journalistic standpoint.
Okay. Well, I will stay off.
If you know me, and if you followed the cast for the last or for a good portion of this year, I've talked on and off about Docker and how it's been being infected by Monero miners or Monero botnets essentially, and all that stuff. So I saw this article come across the screen. This is a more generalized view of it, but Unit 42 over at Palo Alto, this is their threat hunting group. They're calling the stuff that myself and a couple other researchers in the community have been looking at called graboid. And it's cryptojacking worms found in images on Docker Hub. And I've covered a little bit of how this kind of works. They've put it into a really nice, succinct write-up of here and visuals of here's how it's actually working. So I really like this image, even though it's a PNG. But essentially what you have is an attacker will create a image on Docker Hub, and it will tell that image, or tell Docker Hub to download, or sorry, it'll tell the victim to download that image from Docker Hub, which then has a worm implanted in there as well that will then self-propagate through the rest of what it can see. And I've gone through in the past on how it looks for stuff. Oftentimes, at least in the examples that they post here, they have Poco South, CentOS 7.6, whatever, and Gake AWS, MySQL, and Nginx. Each of these have, I believe, been removed from Docker Hub as well. Or actually, no, they haven't been removed. I don't think. I could actually go and look real quick. But as of last night, they weren't removed. So they are still around. So they could still be getting pulled down and everything. If you want to go and research that, I did a talk on it in July, early July at SetKC, where I actually walked through how you would find all the information that they're displaying here. And they also said that there's about 2,000 hosts right now, 2,034 vulnerable hosts listed in the IP file that was found in one of the images. And that's partially true. There are a couple of them that actually aren't. But they also did take it one step further and actually put it inside of a test environment and had it run so that you could see, like, within the amount of time, the worm pretty much spreads across how many machines. Within an hour, it's able to spread to about 1,400-ish machines. And they also have a couple of things that I've talked about in the past as well, that are don't use the TCP socket, only interface with any of your outside cloud infrastructure that is running Docker containers using SSH, because that's the main way that they're coming in, is they're just using that socket because there's no protections put in place on the Docker socket or that TCP socket. So if you have configured your Docker daemon to use that on an external network, I can guarantee you 9 times out of 10, if you have 10 devices out there, 9 of those are going to be hit right now, and you're going to be able to see it. The other thing as well is they posted the Docker images. So if you have Docker instances out in the cloud, go and look for these ones there. Also look at different tags, because you might have a couple of different tags laying dormant there that might be called again. And the C2 servers have been posted for these accounts as well. So if you want to go and put those in a blacklist on your guys' firewall, please go ahead and do that. It's, if you've, like I said, I've been looking at this for about 8 months now. It is very hard to stop these guys, even just having a blacklist out there and IPs out there, because these guys move faster than Speedy Gonzalez on crack. They will have a turner. I'm not even kidding.
Arriba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
Oh, I was about to say, I've seen Cap have it nailed down, and then the next night he's back at it again because they've respun it up and made their changes.
Yeah. So, and a lot of, and I'll say something interesting. Docker has been pretty vigilant with this. One of the backend devs that I interacted with has been getting hit up a fair bit from other researchers in the community on GitHub issues, pointing to some of these. So, and just full disclosure, I did address Unit 42 on Twitter saying, hey, this isn't the first one, but this is still a really good write-up. And there are a couple of spots that you guys should look in different areas as well if they want to keep looking at this. And if you, yeah, like there's a ton of other spots that can be doing this, and there's a lot of other ways that they are actually hiding this right now, but that is all that I can say at this point.
Yeah.
So keep coming back if you want to learn more about this stuff, or just watch my Twitter handles, and also, or my Twitter handle. Also, if you are not following us on Twitter, why aren't you following us on Twitter? Go to the show notes. It's in the description. There's a link there. Show notes right at the top there. There's all of us that are on the show on a regular basis, and our handles are there. So go onto Twitter, go follow us if you want to get up-to-date news. Israel's probably the best one because he has a news bot that just constantly craps out news articles every once in a while. And then we also chat about other things in at least a public forum every once in a while. Or if you have any other interesting questions or interesting research that you want to share with us, I'm more than happy to take any of that stuff. So if you find a vulnerability and you want it on the show, hit me up. Or a breach, you hit Israel up.
Yes.
And that's pretty much all I can say.
And that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I have to say about that. All right. So I've talked enough on Docker containers for the podcast right now. The latest Pentagon bug bounty revealed a critical vulnerability. Sorry, I said DOD in the show notes. It was the Pentagon.
The Pentagon.
Or is that the same thing?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing, but I mean, it's just a HackerOne bounty hunt with DoD saying, look, we embrace quote unquote hackers.
Yeah, that aside, the politics aside, so on October 14th, it was the proxy program completed at the Pentagon, which allowed white hat hackers to probe the department's virtual private networks, virtual desktops, and proxies. The hackers found 31 vulnerabilities, 9 considered high severity, 21 were medium to low. The release did not offer any additional details on the critical vulnerability found last year, an Army Secure file sharing site, which was taken offline because a critical vulnerability was found through a similar disclosure program. And I have to message a friend real quick on that. I should have messaged him before. He might be asleep, actually. But really interesting. The Pentagon doled out $33,750 to hackers who submitted valid vulnerabilities between September 3rd and 18th. In total, 81 hackers from across the world participated. The biggest prize was $5,000. One US-based hacker won $16,000, nearly half of the purse. So I'm interested in doing this next year, but I got to get my bug bounty skills up, because something interesting that I keep finding is bug bounty versus pen test versus red teaming. They're all different methodologies.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a pen tester, you are going. Yeah, go for it, Jack.
Oh, and then to even take part in that, you have to be quote unquote pre-approved.
Yes. I would say though that bug bounties are going to be closer though to red teaming though.
Okay, so red teaming, as far as I've been told and from what it's been defined to me, is you have free reign to do whatever. Like I could run into a building, plug stuff in.
And I'm not saying necessarily on the free reign side. I'm saying on the skill set side. Because pen testing, you're not writing custom exploits and things like that, whereas red teaming you are. And that's the same type of sense with bug bounties. You are going against something that hopefully no off-the-shelf scanner is going to be able to find, issues with, and you're actually full-scale attacking the selected targets and trying to find, what, a full-fledged attacker is going to be able to manipulate.
Right.
Because if you're a company who has is undergoing a bug bounty, and a standard scanner can come through and find holes, you are in no place yet to be doing bug bounties.
Well, and here's the other thing too. So in the grand scope of things, a lot of bug bounties are centered around web apps. At least the ones that are on HackerOne, BugCrowd.
Yeah.
Those are the main two. Synac also does a somewhat of a bug bounty program, but they do it in a way that's they have vetted, quote unquote, vetted pen testers that go in and try to get into your network or your company's network.
Yeah.
And you're getting hit by like 30, 40 people at a time.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's some where you're getting hit by hundreds at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the thing that I, at least for my, in terms of what my strengths are as a pen tester, I have a lot of strength in the social engineering and the physical pen testing side. That is the like number one way. I mean, if you look at the show notes from the past like month or so, half of the breaches that we've been talking about have either been either ransomware or phishing. Someone clicked the link. Yeah. Someone clicked the link and then a breach occurred and they were just sitting dormant in the network.
Yeah.
Or and farther back, we saw some physical infiltrations. I mean, if you're not going to go in and address layer 8, I don't see that being effective then in terms of it bug bounty versus red team, because you're going to get a lot more information, a lot maybe even faster if someone just is doing a red team versus you sitting around for months waiting for people to break into your applications. Granted, you're getting great information when it does occur, but then you're also not addressing other vulnerabilities that are outside of scope. So, or on devices or services that are outside of scope.
Yeah, and most of the time with bug bounties, I mean, phishing is a definite no-no. You know, phishing is a low-hanging fruit. And two, it's so many people fall for it that it just makes it that much easier. Bug bounties are really for once you've, you know, upped your game, and hopefully your users aren't going to get phished, but you know they will. But trying to avoid those very targeted attacks and patch the holes where the incredibly targeted attacks are going to be coming for you. That's really where the bug bounties are, and the organizations who appropriately should be doing the bug bounties. Now, if you're an organization who just is starting to implement a security program and think bug bounties are cool, walk away. Like this is this is not the right space for you yet.
Yeah. No. All right. So there's our take on bug bounties, pen tests, and red teams.
There you go.
All right. Samsung. Anyone's thumbprint can unlock Galaxy S10 phone. Doggy. So a flaw that means any fingerprint can unlock a Galaxy S10 phone has been acknowledged by Samsung. It promised a software patch that would fix the problem. The issue was spotted by a British woman whose husband was able to unlock her phone with his thumbprint when it was stored in a cheap case.
I just love who found this.
It's a great story. It's just like some couple in London, like literally.
Yeah. I imagine him like walking. Well, honestly, I'm imagining Sherlock Holmes right now, but with a wife. But you know, that is what I'm imagining. Like, she's just like walking around, put the thing on, and you know, says in an English accent, like, "Can you unlock my phone?" You know, it's like not a security reason. Like, this is fun because it's like she paid $2.50 or whatever for it for this
it was on eBay,
screen protector, and all of a sudden everyone can unlock the phone. And they tried it on multiple devices, you know, multiples of these S10s, you know, they were all the same model device, but different devices. But man, I love this.
Yeah. So if you have an S10 and you put a gel, like a screen protector that is a gel based screen protector for the S10, if you put your finger on it, when you're registering your fingerprint, it's actually registering the imprints of the gel to the sensor rather than your actual fingerprint that has the data points on it, or that it's trying to make data points to. So every time that someone puts a similar amount of pressure and or a shape to the gel, it will unlock the phone. And since the way that fingerprint scanners on phones work, where it only needs a certain set of data points to do a positive false, where it actually still goes through, then it unlocks the phone. And it's all because of this gel thing. So don't buy a cheap. Two things: patch your phone when the update comes out, or update your phone when the update comes out, as well as upgrade your screen protectors to whatever. And I don't even I have an S9. I don't have a screen protector on mine because the screen protectors that I've gotten have ended up breaking before the screen does. Always.
Not having a screen protector in this case makes you more protected.
Right? It's weird. And it sounds counterintuitive. Oh man. So yeah. Now I went into it a little bit deeper than this article. I'll see if I can find the article that I read that kind of delved into it a little bit deeper and throw it into the show notes later tonight. But yeah. So, vulnerability summary of the week. So, CISA, or Cyber Infrastructure of Homeland Security, puts out a bulletin every week, and we post it into the show notes. So, the vulnerability summary for the week of October 7th, 2019 is out and ready for your viewing, reading, and enjoyment, I guess, or scaring. I don't know. It is Halloween time, so it's time to get scared.
Boogity boogity boo.
Boogity boogity boogity. Let's go racing. I've heard that way too much on the radio. My apologies. So go ahead and take a look at these if you have some spare time. Figure out if anything in your guys' infrastructure needs to be patched or needs to be maintained or configured. As well as if you're a researcher, this might be a good place to start looking at different vulnerabilities, writing different scripts for this kind of stuff, all that fun jazz.
And that same group on Wednesdays and Thursdays, they release their advisories, and it's always good to know that to pay attention to those advisories. Don't just take it for granted that somebody's going to do something about it, because odds are they don't even fucking know about it.
That's right.
Yeah. Hey, there's more RDP stuff. A remote code execution vulnerability exists in Windows Remote Desktop Client when a user connects to a malicious server, aka remote desktop client. Is that not Bluekeep? That's a different thing.
Yeah, it's similar.
It's different. It's similar, but it's different. Wonder what this is. Because I just tried to pull off a Bluekeep today, and it was actually fixed. Remote code execution, okay, remote references. Come on.
Improper input validation.
To exploit this vulnerability, an attacker would need to have control of a server and then convince a user to connect to it. An attacker would have no way of forcing a user to connect to the malicious server. They would need to trick the user into connecting via social engineering, DNS poisoning. That's a force. That's forcing it, or using man in the middle technique. So that's forcing it. There's no way forcing a user to connect to it. Yeah, you force the user to take their machine and go to my machine. That's
I mean, you could still embed that and have JavaScript execute that does command line based RDP.
Yeah, I mean that's a way to do and social, that falls under lines of social.
Yeah, I mean it'd still come in, but it'd be just like clicking any other piece of malware that comes in.
Right, except you would specifically be targeting RDP.
Yes.
So yeah, that's interesting. There's a couple of interesting ones that I need to start looking at now, but I also have another project. So that is vulnerable stuff, vulnerability of the week, breach report. We are now on to a new section that is in the show notes. So I will stop sharing my screen, or actually, I'll keep sharing my screen. But Israel, take this away because this is your section.
Yeah, I threw this on here. This isn't going to be like a every week thing, but just every once in a while. I found some stuff this week that I thought was really interesting. And just wanted to share it out. So we have ESXi on ARM. So last year, VMware at their VMware World or something kind of hinted that they were starting to work on ESXi on ARM processors and get it stable. And so they haven't. I mean, and they're still working on it. So they didn't release it over the last year, but then here, yeah, October 9th, they
10th.
were at an or 10th. Okay. They were on another. Yeah, see, there's October 9th.
Yeah, it's like 9th.
Yeah.
This guy reacted to it to the 10th.
Yeah. So they were at another convention, at another show. And again, this year now teasing that they have it running on a Raspberry Pi 4, which is awesome. I still have issues with the Pis just because it's soldered memory and there's no way to expand it, but there is the potential of running some kind of fun stuff in the future here on and making small, like high availability networks, utilizing VMware. You'd have full failover, all that fun stuff. So just wanted to show this just because there's also ARM procs running in some of the VMware clones. So you could potentially get some of the cheaper cloud-based solutions too that run essentially on back-end ARM processors and be able to run VMware within there. So could be cool. Time will tell if they actually do release this year. I'm hoping they do. Because last year they had it run on a Pi 3, and this year obviously Pi 4. But the Pi 4 is way, way faster than the 3 was. So could be interesting. And next up, we have 64 gig of memory on the newest, newest Intel NUCs. So if you have a Intel NUC and potentially run ESX on it, VMware is now supporting up to 64 gig of memory on it. So like my home lab currently runs on a NUC Skull Canyon, and I think I have 32 gig of RAM in it. But I have another NUC over here just sitting around doing nothing. But it's got an i5, but it is still 64-bit. But it's looking like VMware on there will now support up to 64. So, I mean, well, I guess I'll go ahead and skip to the next part real quick, which is vMug. For anybody who isn't familiar with vMug, this is kind of like the VMware Users Group, which is why it's called vMug, VMware Users Group. And their Advantage subscription, $200 a year, but you can actually utilize 15 or 16 different, fully functional VMware software packages that includes 365-day licensings. So, and like you saw there on Caprico's screen, they'll usually give you 10% off, or you can find other discount codes too. But I mean, because then you can run vSphere, vCenter. You can have high availability. A lot of the stuff that they lock down for just like standard ESX, you're now enterprise side where you can do all the fun stuff. So it is very cool. I think it includes workstation licensing too. So
yes,
if you want,
it does.
yeah, and I mean that right there is like $90 to $100. So
yep,
if you do run workstation, like screw it, spend an extra $100 and you can have all the other stuff too. But it's up to you. If you like VMware, you've used it in the past, you're comfortable with it, or want to learn it, I would definitely recommend checking this out.
Sweet. I'll actually probably be looking at that, at least VMUG itself, because if they're able to do, because I want to get ESXi on my home lab setup.
Yeah.
To actually set up like domain or Active Directory and a couple other things, just so I have a kind of playground at home to kind of test stuff.
Yeah.
As well as have a couple of more machines that are kind of dedicated to research and some other stuff like that. And all of that would be running on my my 2U server that I got off eBay, which works just fine.
Yes.
So, but it is cool to know that like, if you put all of this stuff together, especially with the ARM side, there's probably going to be a little bit of stress on it for the Raspberry Pis, but the Nooks probably are going to be even better on
Oh yeah,
that.
the Nooks just like you can throw anything at the freaking Nooks. They really are good platforms.
Could you imagine having failover to like a phone because it's an ARM processor?
Well, no, I mean, some of the discussion boards I've been on, people are talking about that where they have, a couple-year-old phones and they're like, well, I can't sell it for even $50. I wonder what I could do with it, like from a hypervisor perspective. And there are actually quite a few discussions starting to wrap around that. But currently, there's no real hypervisor that can be ran on ARM, at least not worth anything. And that's why if VMware does get it up and make it publicly accessible, that would be really, I mean, it's not going to be any type of a game changer for them, like at all. But it would be really cool, even, the first world problems we have. Oh no, I have a phone that's a year or two old. And I have a 3-year-old phone. What am I going to do with it? Type of thing. There are a lot of countries that are actively, that is, 3-year-old phones are their everyday phones.
This is a 4-year-old phone that I've got sitting here. That is, I'm going to turn this into.
Can you play like Snake on it?
I was about to say, are you kidding? There's still people using the Nokia candy bars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like this is my iPhone 6 that I've got here. This is an LG.
Cappy just likes to collect phones.
No, so my dad would
or steal them from people.
I stole them from my dad. No, he gave them to me. So so this was just my old iPhone as I keep dropping both of them. Holy cow.
Good job.
I keep catching them though, which is kind of cool. But this was actually my brother's old phone before he got upgraded. And there's a couple of other phones that I know that are lying around just like that aren't being. Wow. Okay. I found out that spacebar mutes my microphone apparently. Yeah, right. And you can't like unmute yourself.
Yeah, you actually have you can't spacebar again and unmute. What?
Yeah, that's weird.
Stupid.
That is stupid.
Hey, we did find out something new tonight. Congratulations, Cappy. You're such a hacker.
Yeah, I guess. All right. That's new. But what's interesting about these is these were they're basically they're a prepaid phone because so all I would need to do is go get another SIM card and just throw that right in there and probably have to mess around and put a different operating system on it. And this is going to be my fishing phone for when I do phone fishing. Or if I'm on site and I want to have a burner on me that only the client has access to, and that's the only communication, I can use this as well.
Just go get a
or you could just buy burners as you need. So,
well, I mean, it all depends on whether or not you can get wireless access, and then that way you can just connect it with, well, if it's an Android, you can connect it with Google Voice.
Just go get an
that's
old
the other thing too.
Nexus 4 or 5 and throw NetHunter on it.
That my favorite thing about these old phones is that you can still take the back off of them. I hate the fact that I can't take the back off of my phones right now.
Yeah. Cappy really likes stuff from the back.
Yeah, back in the day, we could upgrade the battery, so or
Yeah.
or if the battery failed, you could swap it out.
Just swap it out. Or yeah, and then Samsung had to go ahead and create the exploding phone.
Correct.
That should have like nipped that in the bud. Like seriously, that should have done in the enclosed battery section, because that costs so much money for them to go in and fix that. But oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah, but two, we have standardized ports now. We have many USB or micro USBs and everything, and we have USB-C. So it's like, I can just have a little power block with me and still kind of have the same type of thing if I need to juice up or something.
Right.
No, but if your battery goes kaput now,
it's gone. Your phone's done.
Well, I mean,
it's obsolescent.
The phone still can be taken apart. You're going to void any warranty, but you can take them apart.
Yeah, and you also have to be super careful. You have to be super. Have you tried taking apart some of like the older stuff? You need like heat guns and stuff now. It's not like
yes.
Yeah.
Like, no. So I've swapped batteries and yes, you do need the heat guns oftentimes, but it is possible.
I don't know. I don't know. The last phone that I tried to take apart was pretty much glass, and I failed at that.
Yeah, so I actually had one of my Samsung phones fail, and it was my S9 failed. And what ended up happening was the charging port just like desoldered itself.
Nice.
Like it, I don't know how that happened. Wink, wink.
Because it was probably a bad beat to begin with.
Yeah, probably that. And so the charging port, like I'd have to like really get it like in or whatever and have it be like 100% all contacts at all times for the phone to even charge. And my phone is basically half of my job most of the time because I'm on calls all the time. So kind of need my phone. So I actually went in and they were like, we have no idea how to fix that. So they just gave me a new phone. But I looked up how to actually take apart and get down to the bare the charging port just to replace it. And you had to take the whole damn phone apart.
Yeah.
Like I was like, holy cow. Like how, what, why? No, like this should be modular. No, it's like this is board's on top of this board. You have to unsolder that, or not unsolder. You have to unclip that. Be careful with this because you'll actually chip this if you do this wrong. And also the next like 20 different steps. So
and meanwhile, don't lift board A up too fast, because if you do,
you'll snap this.
You'll end up ripping a ribbon cable, which is unreplaceable.
Yeah, it's like why?
So Repent posted the Librem 5 will have a removable, or will be reintroducing a removable or replaceable battery.
Librem 5.
Yeah, I looked it up. It's going to be 3 gig.
I think that would...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say it has 3 gig of RAM, 32 gig of internal storage, but it can take a micro SD up to 2 terabyte. I mean, it's not horrible. A quad core Cortex 853 64-bit at 1.5 gigahertz. So it's not bad. Bluetooth 4.
No, this doesn't look bad at all. I mean, actually, how much are these going to cost? That's the other thing. Buy now.
Yeah, I just clicked.
How much is it?
We just DDoS our
Loading.
server.
Yeah. took $700.
Shit.
But
Really? For 3
What?
gig?
That's how
no,
much
I'm
this
thinking.
was.
I'm thinking on the positive end. Because I was thinking that maybe that was the phone that was actually going to run Linux OS natively.
Yeah, I did hear about that. Remember the Firefox phone
Yes.
that was around for
failed.
like half a thought?
A day.
Yeah.
You can't go into that market, man. It's done. Like Samsung had to fight its way in. And then Nokia died. BlackBerry basically is dead. But there's apparently there's a thing called a BlackBerry server.
RIM, yes.
We had no idea what that was, and then we actually
Really
got it all. No, yeah.
Really?
Shit.
Really?
Yeah, no.
You freaking
Really?
youngin'.
Yeah, duh.
My goodness.
Yeah. We didn't think it would exist at this.
Oh, what the fuck? Are you serious? Are you kidding me?
I concede. I am an idiot. Okay.
I'm not saying you're an idiot. I'm just saying that
he's just inferring it.
Yeah.
No, I'm not inferring it either.
But yes, people do still run the not RIM, BES, BlackBerry Enterprise Server. BES.
Well, that's what it's called now, but
Yeah.
But but
Well,
it might be for that one motherfucker, that still has their BlackBerry that refuses to give it up and refuses to join in everybody else.
I actually probably have a BlackBerry that I could steal from my parents that they aren't using.
Oh yeah, sure. That's what it is. It's the Pine phone that I was thinking about.
Oh, okay. Because they still make phones. They still make BlackBerry phones.
Yeah, who was it that bought up BlackBerry a few years ago?
No, they still make BlackBerries. Oh yeah, no, my coworker walked in with a BlackBerry smartphone. That was what it was. And I was like, "You what?" Yeah, so they're still making smartphones. This one's got 64 gigs of memory. Holy cow. Unlocked, no less. And it's $350. But it's still got like the clicky keyboard.
Which I miss.
I actually miss that. I miss the slide phones, dude. Like if there was a smartphone that could bring back the slide where you could just like slide it up. Oh, I miss that. But I'm also weird, so they're still 3G. I wonder, are they still doing BlackBerry Key 2 is the one that we're looking at for anyone that is curious. The Key 1. Yeah, these just look like the phone that my parents had, but now with like an Android smart screen on top of the keyboard. Are these the only two things that they're making right now? Wow, because they used to make a ton of them. Android.
I don't know. BlackBerry usually only did 1 or 2 phones a year.
Yeah, like that's models. True. Yeah, but those things were bricks, which is kind of nice. Products. Yeah, they only do the Key 1, the Key 2, and the Key 2 LE right now. But you could probably still pick up BlackBerries for like super cheap. The iconic U shape. Huh. Honestly, might take a look at one of these. If I can find like something else. Dual accounts. The new dual account feature lets you clone apps with a simple drag and drop, then switch between personal and professional. Oh shit! I gotta get my hands on one of this.
Cappy just wet himself.
Yep. So, all right, I'm sharing my screen because this is hilarious. I gotta get. If you have one of these and you're willing to part ways with it, please send it to me because I have an idea for this. So, with the what's it called? The new. Wow. Okay. Cool. Bouncy bounce. With the new flagship that they have, there's this feature called dual accounts. So dual accounts, the new dual account feature lets you clone apps with a simple drag and drop, then switch between personal and professional accounts with ease. Dual SIM models allow for separate instances of phone number tied apps, currently available for Instagram, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and WeChat. Okay. Oh my God, MDM maintainers or people within your organization that do MDM or maintain like those systems are going to have a fit with these because they could just have like stuff like on their personal that's not being, because you can have a user that has confidential stuff and they accidentally put stuff on their personal side and then they like somehow someone gets access to that phone. That information that's supposed to be confidential is then out there and easily accessible to that side because you could just put the MDM solution on to the professional side because they're not going to use anything on that side. God. I do like the dual SIM idea though. Like I would use it for that.
No,
I
I thought that was like when it was talking about cloning apps and dual SIMs, that it was basically, hey, this SIM right here is tied to my professional side,
right,
and this one right here is tied to my personal, and
right.
and leaving them both open.
Yeah, so you've got, but what's going to stop someone from accidentally putting something on the personal side where they're going to,
or or accidentally on purpose screenshotting a confidential email and then accidentally post it to their personal Facebook account.
Ooh, yeah.
And by the way, I have dual SIM.
Yeah,
it's awesome for international travel.
Hey, Adrian's alive.
Finally, yeah.
Holy crap, your connection
Cheek
sucks.
monkeys, really?
I mean, no, really. I thought that was like.
Oh, dude, close the video for sure because I'll ease up on the bandwidth. Oh, I think we're losing him. Like, had it first, dude. Just DDoS the network, or just like send a replay. No, seriously, like send a replay attack to just DDoS everything else but you. Oh my gosh. I actually thought about that, doing that for an attack method, just like brute force DDoS to everything to get them off the network and then walk in and say, hey, we were seeing some weird traffic from the ISP side on the wireless network. Are you guys having issues? And everyone's going to be like, oh yes, please fix everything. Because that happens all the time.
Question: do I have audio coming through at all?
Yeah,
now you do.
We can
now
hear you now.
It's intelligible. Before, your audio was really muffled and sounded like you were like talking through static, but now we can actually hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, just tell me in the chat. I'm gonna mute myself and probably disconnect because I tried a VPN solution and just let me know if I actually interrupted things.
What?
Oh, interesting. So it's actually the hotel that's blocking him out.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. Huh.
It's probably done for like bandwidth saving because they don't want someone like sucking up their network with video streaming or something.
Oh, fuck off!
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense. It's a shitty thing to do, but it makes sense.
Like I said, they go fuck themselves. Really, I can't. Really, I have to pay for your terrible on-demand video, so I can't use Netflix.
Yeah, whatever.
Fuck out of here.
Get up on out of here. Get up on.
Nice.
Yeah, okay. So the reason that I actually one, didn't know that BlackBerry had servers, and subsequently found out that they had servers. And this wasn't my test, but one of the guys on my team, he was doing a test, and he had Responder running on the box, and that we had, and Responder directed all traffic for the entire network through a BlackBerry server.
Nice.
So everything was being routed through that BlackBerry server.
Nice.
When we were, and the client told us that, and we were like, "Come again?" Oh, what? BlackBerries. Hang on. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, we'll stop that. We already stopped it, but it was like, all right.
Nice.
It's just one of those moments where you're like, are they for real? That's a thing?
Yes, because there's that one old fossil who refuses to give it up, and then
Yeah, it's usually C-suite.
Yeah, or somebody with a lot of fucking suction.
Yeah. We'll call that guy Monica.
Last name not Lewinsky.
Correct. He pulled a Monica.
Oh boy. All right. Well, yeah, that was fun. I VPN'd into home, but it had effed audio. Yeah. So I don't know. Man, I kind of miss phones being like slide phone. I want like to find a slide phone, actually. I'm gonna look that up.
I never did slide
eBay.
phones.
Slide. That was my first phone. I probably have it somewhere too. Slide phone. They still do not make them. I just remember like growing up, like that was the rage. Like if you had a sidekick where it would go up and you would have the keyboard sideways.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
I actually thought last year BlackBerry came out with one that was a slide phone.
I don't think they're making any for the 4G.
Oh, yeah, BlackBerry Priv, Priv. Look that up.
Okay, but I just saw this, and I'm going to share my screen because this is hilarious. I think this is new. I think this is new.
Bum, bum, bum.
And that's my one per show.
Yep.
But you've already said your one per show.
That was before we started the show.
You know,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. Why wouldn't they have like put a screen on the bottom part that also slides? So whenever it's together, you know, you could like move between the top and bottom screen or something.
It's a $70
granted,
phone.
yeah, I was gonna say it's $70, but still. Because you're not going to play games or do anything on that screen. That's
it's 4G LTE, dude.
Itty bitty. Yeah, but why still have a? I'm assuming that's a touch screen though, right?
I'm assuming. No, it is not. So,
but it's running Android, and they're going to try to do that without a touch screen.
That's interesting, actually. But that's a Nokia phone, so you also know it's a brick, and it's also curved. So I wonder if it's like a pseudo boomerang.
No, that's so that you can have hands-free access. All you need to do is take your rubber band with you, and it'll just curve right around. And
I thought it would be for like doing like, because do you guys still like go like shoulder like this? It's annoying with a smartphone, but you can do that easily with it. Huh. Unlock classic slider style senior and kid cell phone, $50. How does it slide out? There's no buttons here. And it's on a dock. Oh, this is the kind of style of phone that I had when I was growing up. It a little bit different. It wasn't running Android though, but this is for like kids apparently. So, oh my gosh, the image is huge. Hang on. Yeah. All right.
Wait, you had one of those things?
I had something like it, but it was like this small. But
I love that it's called Jethro.
Yeah. But mine had a similar slide and layout to this, but this is for like seniors and kids.
Yeah.
Jitterbug is the seniors thing. Yeah,
but yeah, look up the BlackBerry Priv, PRIV, real quick. Yeah, and see that this one is supposed to have a slider.
yeah, it looks like it does it. Hang on, let me find. Hang on. These just might not. There we go.
There it is.
That's actually tight.
And like the whole screen slides up. Yeah.
That's tight, actually.
Because I think this is what
This
they
is
were
like
trying to use. I think this was last year that they came out with it. They were trying to still be BlackBerry, have that physical keyboard, but still be relevant in today's day and age.
Yeah, I remember the commercials for this. Yeah, but they went back to like the old style, probably because the mechanism kept breaking or it's got crap in it. Because that was always the thing. Like it's in your phone or in your pocket.
Yeah.
You'd always get like dirt and lint and whatever in the sliders. So there's like no real good way to clean that without taking the phone apart. So that was why those came out. That's why flip phones are still a thing, because nothing gets caught in that. It gets popped out.
True that.
But I'm actually going to go back to see if I can find Gooseberry Sky Slide for Apple iPhone. No, that's a case. I want a case.
I want a case.
Do they still make these? Huh. Ooh, that's a terrible name for a phone. I'll share this one since we're just like screwing around at this point.
Yes.
Last one. Look what this is named.
The Pidoo Slide.
Pidoo Slide.
That's like my...
Oh, it comes in gold, dude. I want this now.
You are so weird.
It looks so cool. It's like, that's interesting.
That's like gold member
in
Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Luxury mobile phone.
The new Pixels were just announced this week, right?
Yeah.
So they actually are putting a radar in the front. And I can't remember why they put a radar in the front, but I remember they're going to be putting a radar in the front. Maybe so you can go up to cops and be like, haha, you are going too fast. But yeah, they were putting a radar in. There was some... Oh, yeah, now I'm starting to remember. So that they could actually... You could like swipe left, like have your phone sitting on a flat surface or wherever, and like swipe up above it and be able to have like hand gestures and things. And not have to touch apparently the really dirty screen. Or maybe like, if somebody's in the kitchen, and has a cookbook and, their hands are dirty, or auto mechanics and are looking through, like the diagrams of all the stuff being put, whatever the case may be. But maybe that's why.
Yeah. I might actually pick this up because I want to see how this thing works. And it's got like these studs in the back.
What are those even?
It's like
are they supposed?
It's like they're supposed to be like jewelry,
like fake diamonds,
yeah,
like cubic zirconiums.
Yeah, something like that. I guess I have no idea. I kind of just want to like look at this and see how much malware is on it. Are there reviews of this? Please tell me there's reviews. There's no reviews of this.
Oh, that's too bad.
That's so bad. Or too bad. 14K yellow gold flip phone charm. Oh god.
$503.
Yeah, because it's 14K.
Yeah,
it's a gold flip phone.
Yeah, but is it like full or just like plated?
I don't know.
Because if it's like plated, that's maybe like $15 worth of gold
Yeah,
at most.
but it's molded. Unlock 2G GSM mobile phone unlocked with
Oh,
free
yeah.
earphone. Ooh, getting into the dark areas of Amazon. I also want to see this thing.
Oh, yes.
I'm buying this for Ethan.
No, you are not.
Yep.
The only malware allowed in my house is where I have it all living currently, and that's
Oh, it
not
comes
going to
in
be on his
black.
phone.
It comes in black, dude.
Now, if it transformed
It does.
into
It transforms
something
into a
other than
phone.
a fake car and a phone, I may be up for it. Like if it then transformed into a helicopter, I may be up for it.
You can adjust the volume by pushing on the wheel, man.
I swear, I look at all these and they look like vapes.
Well, or vapes look like this.
Yeah.
Which came first, the car or the vape?
All depends on who you ask.
Good. Wait. All right. And it's so the thing on or the title of this product: sports car model F15 mini flip phone, dual SIM card, MP3 backup phone.
Yeah, so burner.
I want to see like a drug dealer in a movie flip out one of these car phones.
No. You would never use one. You would never use one. Only time you would ever use one of those phones is if you're strictly like voice only. For the most part, if you're going to be conducting a transaction or setting up a transaction, it's normally going to be via text, and it's going to be very short. And it's going to be a specific keyword that's going to get said in that text.
Yeah, like that goes without saying, but it still would be funny, like in a movie, to see someone it comes on gold too. Oh my gosh, I actually will probably pick this up.
Yeah, you should pick that up and then you should bedazzle it.
Yes, I will actually probably do that. Just so it's like, what in the hell does Nate?
Ooh, you should 3D print a case for it.
Yes, actually, yes, I will do that. My computer is freaking out right now for some reason. I don't know why.
It's because you clicked on a phone that's laden with malware and it's already
just
scared.
the Amazon page is already taking over my machine. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I have no idea how to end the stream, but we're about at mark, even though we started a little later. We don't have anything and other stuff for the show notes tonight. We kind of covered a weird segment of old phones and new weird flip phones and other stuff like that.
Yeah, the Caprico's going to hide in his beard. Oh, that's what you need to find. It's like a little tiny
beard phone.
Yes, a mini phone that you can conceal in your beard.
I'm just gonna like Google beard phone and see what comes up. There's a lot of cases. There's a lot like beard cell phone. What? Okay. I don't know how this came up, but I swear I'm just gonna show you guys. I typed in beard phone into Google, and this is what shows up: Amazon weed, marijuana, pot, beard, cannabis phone case cover.
Yeah, you know what? I just made one of the dumbest searches I've ever made in my life on Amazon.
What?
Clear text, micro, space, phone. Yeah, guess what Amazon gives me back?
No.
Microphones. I want a micro phone, not a microphone.
Space.
Under cell phones and accessories. Let's go there.
Small cell cancer. Oh God, autocomplete is hilarious sometimes.
Let's
Tiny
try
phone. You should type
tiny phone.
Yeah, tiny phone. But these usually pair with your existing phone.
Ooh. Yep. This is what you need. This, I think.
You see. To like fit in my beard.
Yeah, I think it's small enough that you could do it. Side chat, right? Almost.
Almost there.
Now.
Gunk. Open on this one. Yeah, I saw one of these actually in the store when I was looking at getting my phone replaced. So I actually saw one of these. This could.
I mean, it's like 3 inches tall and like maybe an inch and a half wide.
It's like this
so.
big. No, it's like this big, and it's about this thin.
Yeah,
it's not very. Yeah, so it could literally just sit like.
And then 3D print a case for it that will fit
attached to my beard.
Attach into your beard. Has like little hooks or something all throughout it. You should do it. Yeah, does it have a microphone? Like a headphone jack?
Yes. I think so. It's already got more I/O than the iPhone. So it's got SIM card, nano SIM card, and TF card.
Oh. Is that Bluetooth?
I think it connects to your phone or unlocked cell phones, child's phone, and compatible with GSM carriers, like as well as GSM SIM cards. Unlocked cell phones will not work with CDMA carriers, and it is not a 3G. And it is 3G network, not support 4G. Also, this is poorly written. I'm like verbatim saying what this is.
Yes. It's probably straight Chinese translated to English. So what you could do, you could do Bluetooth earbud, and then still be able to answer and speak, into it while it's in your beard, while having the earbud, and still be able to talk on the call.
Yeah. By the way, we are ending the stream, so thank you guys all for being here and sticking with us through the technical difficulties, and we will catch you next week. Adrian, kill the show!
Yep.
Just when
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Kill it with fire. Kill it. Get it.
I see how it is.
No, not you.
It's not